Hey guys, it's good to be back. Thanks for joining me on my video. I have something I want to share with you. It goes like this. Martha Taft, when she was in elementary school in Cincinnati, she was asked to introduce herself to the class. And here's what she said. Now listen to this carefully. She said, "My name is Martha Bowers Taft. My great-grandfather was President of the United States of America. My grandfather was the United States Senator. My daddy is an ambassador to Ireland. And I am a brownie." Now, that story is kind of cute because we look at little children saying things that you and I might not say. They don't resonate with children the same way they do with us because we understand that child is secure in where they're at, what they're doing, their station in life. They're happy. They're happy. And we're kind of envious. Many people are not happy with where they're at. I can't already talk this morning. But they're not happy with where they're at. They're not happy with what they're doing. They don't like their job. They don't like the cards that have been dealt to them. In fact, they think they should have gotten something better. And they thought better things were waiting for them. And perhaps they've gotten a raw deal. You know what? I've known a lot of people who think this way. And they become depressed. They become selfish. They become self-destructive. Because they start making decisions based solely on what they think will meet their needs emotionally. And go out and do things on a quest to fulfill themselves. But I'm going to tell you something. You can tweak your imagination just enough to feel differently. Now, I'm not saying that you should just imagine things that aren't real. But the power of the mind is great. We fool ourselves all the time into believing that things are not as good as what they are. I mean, how many times have we said to somebody, you should be thankful for what you have, for where you're at, because it could be worse. Somebody else on the other side of the world has it much worse than you. And we know it's true, and we know it's good for that person, but that person doesn't understand that because they're so wrapped up in what they don't have, all right, and what they should have gotten. But all of us are that way, aren't we? I can't imagine one soul who hasn't had these same thoughts cross through their own mind. It's just part of the human condition. But I think that what we can take away from this is learn to be happy with where you're at. Bloom where you're planted. I'm sure you've heard that before. Think about that today. Bloom where you're planted. If you can't take pride in where you're at, then find a way to do it. Don't wait for your circumstances to change. I'm serious. I know so many people who do what I do, or they just have. I'm a blue collar guy. I know a lot of other people who are blue collar workers. White collar workers are no different. We all think alike. We all think the grass is greener on the other side, but you don't have to. Use the power of your imagination to take pride in your job. And to take pride in who you are. See, Martha Taft was okay with where she was at. She took pride in her heritage. She took pride in her family's legacy. But she didn't dismiss being a brownie compared to being a president of the United States. Take pride in what you do. Enjoy what you do. You say, well, I can't do that. You don't understand what I do. Find a way to enjoy what you do. I'll have to say, for all of my misgivings and all my complaints I've issued through life, I can say this is one area where I have managed to manipulate my mind to some degree. I have been through enough things, moved around quite a bit growing up, been in and out of different places, and it's real easy to hate life if you're going through that. But if you want to be a survivor, you tell yourself, I like what I'm doing. I'm proud of what I'm doing. If you're not proud of what you're doing, it's going to show. People around you are going to know it. So take pride in what you do. Take pride in who you are. Everything that you have means nothing. Means nothing. It's the relationships that you have in life. It's taking pride in who you are. It's knowing who you are despite your station. Now, here's a little story, a real life story. Well, that was real life also, but here's a little real life story from my own parents that they told me when I was a kid, and I found it out to be true. When my mother and father were young, and I mean they had just my father's gone on to heaven now. My mother, she's 72, I think, yeah, 72 years old. But when they were young and had little children, and they were in Indianapolis, Indiana, in a church up there, and they really felt like they weren't where they were supposed to be. They just felt very discontent. And they said they were having a discussion with an older woman who sat in front of them in church. And I'll never forget this. Her name was Eunice Bells. Now, this is probably in the late 60s. Probably late 60s this happened. And here's what Eunice Bells told my mother and father. She says, if you're not happy with where you're at, if you're not content, not happy, if you're not content with where you're at, God will not move you. Now, you may not believe in God, or you may not even believe the same thing I do, but just get the point here. If you're not content with where you're at, you will not be moved. If you want to be moved, if you're not satisfied with where you're at, learn to be content with where you're at and what you're doing first, and then things will change for you. And you know what? I've put that to the test so many times in my life, and I can vouch for that. It's absolutely true. Give it some thought. You know, you don't have to be president of the United States. You can be a brownie. And I doubt that anybody listening to this video is ever going to find themselves in this position. You're too old and you're male. 97% of my listening audience is male. And but you get my point. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your station in life. Find a way to do it. And things will change for you. I guarantee it. I know this for a fact. I put it to the test myself. Put your comments below if you liked it. Subscribe. Let it reflect. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.